Hi, this is Kola from the Complete Trading Education. In today's video, I have four Forex pairs which are showing good signs of trading opportunities. So I want to go through these four currency pairs right now. The first one is Australian dollar, US dollar. If we look first on the monthly chart, we see that since 2011 price has been heading in a downwards direction recently, so from around 2015 up to now price has been going sideways to up, but overall going sideways. So as the major trend is down, we're still looking for shorting opportunities, so just bear that in mind. It's not wise to go long here. You might want to just look for shorting opportunities because this is a resistance area here and this is a support area here, so we're in between that zone. Ideally what we want to wait for is for price to actually break below here, then we have a lot of clear space for price to actually drop further. If we look at the weekly chart, we see that price again still in a downtrend and below is currently below this weekly 200 moving average, and the trend filter is red. So because we're red and below here, indicating shorting opportunities, price did try to break above this 200 moving average, which is acting as a resistance, but it failed and has since dropped further, so expecting further weakness. On the daily chart, price is, zoom out, red and also below the daily value index, so all three time frames indicating us to go short and make money in the down movement. So as long as your trading strategy applies for short-term opportunities here, then you could look to go short. It's not wise to go long because we have a lot of resistance blocking price from actually going up further. So right now you want to look for short-term opportunities only on the Australian dollar, US dollar. The next one we're looking at is the euro against euro against the US dollar. On the monthly chart, again since 2008 price has just been heading downwards. We have had up moves along the way which you could potentially trade, but overall the market has been moving down, and currently we see a move up, and this move up came to this previous area of support which is now resistance. So if you look at this area here and this area here, this acted as resistance here, and since then price failed to actually move higher and actually stopped here and has since continued downwards. So we want to potentially look for shorting opportunity. If we are going to go long and buy the euro US dollar, then we want to at least wait for price to break above this area here first. If we look at the weekly chart next, we see that price is green and above the weekly value index, indicating that we should look for long opportunities. But as I mentioned on the monthly chart, there is a strong resistance here, so before going long we want to wait for price to break above this point first. If we look at the daily chart, price is green and above the daily value index. So the weekly and daily are both indicating for us to look for long opportunities. However, the monthly chart has shown us that we're overall heading down and below strong resistance. So we're getting mixed information here. So as I said before, be safe, trade safe, and wait for price to go above this area of resistance first. If that does happen, then we can look to take long opportunities. If that doesn't happen, then at least wait for price to drop below the daily 200 moving average line here, then we can start looking for shorting opportunities. But at the moment it's best to stand aside on the euro dollar. The next one we are looking at is euro against the Australian dollar. Now if we look at the monthly chart here, we see that there's no clear direction here. We can see a clear downwards direction, but since this point here price has just been heading in a sideways direction. So first we want to wait for either price to break above this high point here or at least this low point here before taking shorting opportunities. So if it breaks above this high, we can look to take long opportunities. But as you can see, price is some way away from this high here, so we could potentially trade this until we reach this point, and then tighten our stops once this point is reached, because it could act as strong resistance, forcing price to stop and reverse. So again, there's a nice amount of space here. I'm going to look at the weekly and daily charts to see how we can trade this. If we look at the weekly chart first, we see that price is green and above the weekly value index. Now this is that point here that I was mentioning on the monthly chart, and price has since bounced off the 200 moving average, which it used as support, and has since been continuing to climb higher. So look at the daily chart quickly. Daily chart indicating price is green and above the 200 moving average on the daily chart. So because the trend filter is green, indicating for us to look for long opportunities, and we are above the 200 moving average, we can look for long opportunities. So as price has just broken above this high point here, this could have been a potential entry. So best thing is to wait for another pullback and see whether price can actually break the next high before taking a trade. I'm currently trading this, and will look to trade this up until, go back to the monthly chart, at this point here. I'll still lock in my trade, but I would monitor it closely once price, if price does start to approach this point, because as I mentioned before, it could start to reverse, or it could just end up continuing through. If it does continue through the resistance, then that will be good, because the next major area of resistance is all the way up here. So if it does go above here, then I'll be able to make a lot more profit and also compound on my existing trade. So one to watch over the next few days. The last forex pair I'm looking at is the New Zealand dollar US dollar. If we look at the monthly chart, we see that price was in a downtrend here from 2014, had a nice move down, then we went into a sideways movement here. Price found some resistance around here, stopped here, and then continued to move downwards. So at the moment, we are looking to continue the move from this downwards move here. So if this does continue lower, then we could potentially see price continue at least down to this area of previous support. If we look at the weekly chart, we see that prices, the trend filter is red, indicating for us to go short, and also below the weekly 200 moving average. Price tried to break above here, failed, and continued to move downwards. So we're expecting further weakness on this forex pair. The next time frame, the daily chart, we see that the trend filter is red and price is below the 200 daily moving average, so indicating again we are looking for shorting opportunities. So monthly, weekly, and daily, saying that we're potentially looking for shorting opportunities. So what I want to wait for next is for price to break and close below this area of support, which also acted as support here. So if price does come lower here, then that will give me an indication to actually short the New Zealand dollar US dollar, because if we zoom out, we see that the next major support area is all the way down here. So that's enough space to actually make a lot of profit before price may potentially start to reverse back upwards. So if I do enter a trade here, I'm going to look to compound multiple times so I can make as much profit as I can until this point. So if it does break, then keep an eye on this and look to trade this as long as it fits your trading criteria. Hit the subscribe button below and have full access to all my trading videos as soon as they are available.